Hi, I'm Joryn Jenkins. I'm a collaborative lawyer, and I'm here to talk about one of the posters that I use in the process of explaining how people can get divorced to my consultations. So the first poster that I described is the Courtless Divorce Processes poster. This poster goes along with it because this is the divorce process choices, and it's the average costs of these alternatives. People want to know what they're getting into. I can't tell you how many times someone's asked me, well, how much is my divorce going to cost? And I really can't answer that question. In the past, I have always said, if you go to war, you can count on spending $100,000. If you go to trial, you're going to spend probably $100,000. Could be more, could be less, but it's in that realm. And by the way, your spouse is going to spend the same amount. So you figure your family's going to be out of pocket $200,000. Of course, I've had clients who've managed to spend a lot more than that. I've had some clients manage to spend less. The fact is that if you go to court, you're headed for court, and you end up settling on the courthouse steps, you could still spend $100,000 each, because it could have cost you that much just to get there. So these processes are a little more manageable in terms of cost, and they're also it's a little easier to estimate exactly how much you're likely to spend. So keep in mind that the costs I'm talking about are averages that I've derived from my own cases here in Tampa, Florida, and also because I worked with a financial professional to go through his cases and my cases together, and we came up with an average cost for collaboration, which really covered the state of Florida because we had cases all over the state when you put them together. So, kitchen table is the first divorce process I talk about. That's where the two clients sit together. They work things out at the kitchen table. They don't hire a lawyer, but they do have a filing fee. So whatever your filing fee is in your jurisdiction, that's what the cost will be. Here in Tampa, Florida, it's in the range of $430. That'll be your cost and your time spent negotiating with your spouse. Then you've got the divorce process where one of you decides that you really need a lawyer to help you with the paperwork. You're not comfortable with doing it yourself. The paperwork is a little scary. Some people hire a paralegal to do this. So it can be a paralegal, it can be a lawyer. On average, you're looking at about $1,000 to prepare that paperwork for you. As long as you and your spouse really have agreed on what you want in there, it's going to be $1,000-ish plus your filing fee. Then you've got where you take those papers to your spouse, and your spouse goes, well, I'm not sure I really agreed to this. Let me talk to your lawyer. And so your lawyer and your spouse start talking to each other. Maybe you're also in the mix talking. Now your costs are going to go up a little bit because your lawyer's going to spend some time on the phone. Maybe he's going to have to redraft the document a little bit. So now you're looking at possibly spending $2,000, give or take, plus your filing fee. Always it's plus your filing fee. That's, by the way, the filing fee is charged by the court system, not by your lawyer. That's the courthouse charging you. Then you've got where your spouse called your lawyer and then decided, you know, this is getting a little hairy. I'm not exactly sure I know what I'm talking about here. Let me get my own lawyer just to make sure that I know what I'm doing. Now maybe you've got two lawyers talking to each other. And some people call this cooperative, where the lawyers, both of the clients tell the lawyers, I don't want to go to war. This isn't important enough to go to trial over. I just want to tweak what she's given us or what he's given us a little bit to make sure that I'm covered here. So maybe the lawyers are talking to each other, they're negotiating. In fact, in one of these, we scheduled an appointment with each other before we'd even traded documents. We came together in my conference room here, two lawyers, two clients, and we negotiated the deal. I drafted it up later, and that one actually cost less than $4,000, all told, both lawyers. In fact, it's funny because those clients didn't get divorced. We negotiated the divorce, and then they didn't want to get divorced until after the new year because they wanted to file their tax return for that year together. By the time I called my client in January, it was 7-8 months later, and asked her if she was ready to go get divorced. She was the one pushing for the divorce. She told me, oh no, I forgot to tell you, we reconciled. We're back together. We're doing fine. The nice thing about that was because we really hadn't gone to war, in the negotiations, they weren't really mad at each other. They had come to their agreement fairly amicably, and so it was much easier for them to reconcile. So she was a very happy camper. I really should call her and get a testimonial from her. The next one after that is mediation. Mediation is where you bring in that third party, that neutral, could be a lawyer, a mental health person, a counselor, or maybe a financial person who's been trained in mediation. And the two of you go to mediation without lawyers. You just agree that you just need a mediator to help you facilitate your negotiations, maybe keep some calm in the room in case one of you gets angry. I do that kind of work as well. That's, without lawyers, that's not going to be terribly expensive. You sit with a mediator 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. You get it done. Maybe you have to come back and do another 2-hour session. I've done those. So you figure it's the hourly rate of the mediator times the number of hours plus the filing fee. So you're looking at $1,000 to $5,000 maybe. Might be higher, but that would be if you two just like to argue. And then you've got mediation with 2 lawyers. So now your numbers are going up. Now you've got 2 lawyers in the room with the mediator. Take their hourly rate, multiply it out, and you're looking at more like $5,000 to $10,000 plus your filing fee. Could be more, but that's more of the range that you're going to see. Now let's get down to collaboration. Collaborative process involves a financial neutral and a facilitator neutral, usually in Florida, and your 2 lawyers. The 2 lawyers sign an agreement that they will not go to court. So they're pushed, if you will, into not hiding things, not sandbagging, not failing to be transparent. If you need documents, you call the other lawyer, you say, I need these documents. We get the documents. It's not hard. There's not all that discovery. There's not motions practice. There's not running to court for every little thing. It's very congenial. The lawyers aren't going to go to court. They know it. The clients have signed off on it. They're not going to court. So you've got those 4 professionals, basic 4-member team here in Florida. Sometimes you'll bring in a child specialist if you've got a special issue with a child. You might bring in a realtor at one point if you're trying to sell the house and there's an issue with that. You might bring in a vocational specialist. This is freedom. This is fashioning your own divorce. This is putting the divorce together the way you want it on the issues that are important to you and your spouse and your family. I tell my clients, every family is unique and you deserve your own unique agreement that fits your family. And judges can't do that for you. They are limited to what the legislature says they can do. A judge in Florida can't order one of you to pay for college. You can agree to pay for college, but a judge can't order you to do that. If college is important in your family, that might be an issue for you to talk about in collaboration. In any event, our average collaborative case runs around 30 grand, 32 grand, plus the filing fee. We get things done a lot faster in collaboration than you do in court. When you go to court, you're looking at spending $200,000. $100,000 each, that's pretty much what I figure, give or take 50. I mean, the numbers could go up depending on how aggressive the other attorney is, depending on how aggressive your attorney is. One side gets angry, the other side gets angrier, it ramps up, now you're at war. So the numbers go up just depending on how angry you get. So collaboration, 30, 32 grand, litigation, and that, by the way, that 32 grand, in case I wasn't clear, that's for all of the professionals, the 2 lawyers, the financial, and the facilitator. You can get us all for around 32 grand. That's the standard case. And I can talk about that later, what a standard case looks like, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what kind of costs you're looking at if you're getting divorced in Florida, or what you can tell your clients if you want to be able to explain this to them. Yes, we have run these numbers. The more issues, the higher the costs, but these are the average case. Your family may not be average, but it's averages, so you can go with that. Thank you so much.